Thanks for clicking on this video today. I appreciate that you would give me your time today. The last few videos that you've seen from me I've actually filmed in chunks, so meaning a few videos each time that I sit down to film. It's just a lot easier for me to do, and I film on good days. And I have just been going through a hard time. I know you guys know this has been a hard season, but I'm always honest with you with everything. It's just easier to be honest on easier days, you know? And things have just been really hard lately, you know, just really low. And I don't want to get into the details, just like dishing everything out to you guys, but just things continuing on with my health and hope and just different issues going on, and just the struggle of wanting to, one of the main things is wanting so desperately to perform and be there for my children and husband, and feeling like I just can't give physically to the level I want. And I cannot tell you the angst and pain that causes me in my heart and the surrounding issues that have come up from that. It's been really hard, and that's just to give you a really vulnerable peek into stuff I've been struggling with. But today I just wanted to talk to you about staying in the game. And that has been one thing I've focused on in this past year or two when I've been really just at the lowest of lows, is that when you're struggling, sometimes you just have to be focused on staying in the game and hanging in there. So I wanted to just casually give you some tips of things that help me when I'm really struggling to stay in the game and to just keep going forward. Because, again, I know I'm not the only one going through something hard. I know there are those of you out there who are struggling with things, who are feeling pain like I feel, who are struggling, seeing beyond something they're going through right now, and who are having a hard time making it through each day. So I just hope that you can take away something from this video. More than anything, I just pray you feel hope. I pray that these things practically help you, but I just pray that your heart feels encouraged and you know that you're not alone, and that you can just see that you're going to make it through this to the other side, because you are, I am, and it's your mental talk. It's what you tell yourself. That is like the biggest thing that we have to guard, is our thoughts. One thing that I often do is just shut down my train of thinking and just shut it down, because so many times like those thoughts will creep in that aren't filled with life and truth and hope. Just shut those down, and you know, even if you have to distract yourself with something else, sometimes you don't have it in you to start thinking positive thoughts. But if you can just stop those negative thoughts from going on, that can be really powerful and effective, because our mind, I'm telling you, isn't all the battle in here. Everything that's in our mind affects our whole day. It affects how we perceive everything. It just is so important to watch our thoughts. So one thing that plays into that is guarding what we are taking in. And, you know, that's other voices. That's who we're hanging out with. That's people we're watching on YouTube or social media. We have all these inputs that are coming into our life, and for some reason it's so easy to devalue the effect those things have on us. But we're like sponges, we're humans. I mean, obviously what goes in must come out in some regard. So just, if you're struggling right now, just take a critical look at things that aren't helping you and just cut those off and don't give them a second thought, you know. Get off social media. Stop talking to someone who's bringing you down, you know. Like, that's such a simple fix that you shouldn't overlook. Along with cutting out the bad voices, fill yourself with truth. Listen to the Bible. I love personally hearing the Bible being played out loud, so I love listening to it on the YouVersion app. But even if you feel like, you know, it's not so stimulating or speaking to you in a profound way, don't stop. Just listen to it even a little bit here and there when you're feeling down, when you're doing the dishes. Fill yourself with that truth. It does, just like the negative things can seep into us and we don't realize it, the positive things like God's word will seep into our soul and help us get through these times, even if we don't feel it. I know when we're struggling, a lot of it is about our emotions, so don't make that time about your emotions so much as just trying to understand God, and at least that's what helps me, because when I feel like I make that time about, just escaping emotions I'm going through and making it all about me and kind of self-centered, it's never very healthy. But when I consider that time to be something I'm giving of myself to God as an act of worship and love to Him, and also to help understand Him better, and just giving Him praise, like along with worship, just praising Him and thanking Him for things, having gratitude for all the things we do have, that stuff is life transforming. So don't get overwhelmed thinking these suggestions you have to make this like strict practice of gratitude and journaling, but just even right now, give Him thanks for things, just make a vow to yourself to see more of the good and to actually thank God for what you have in your life just throughout your day. Even right now, just like think of a few things that you're so grateful for, and let those feelings permeate you. Like, let them permeate your heart. Just like we let the negative ones like sit on us or grow inside of us, let those positive feelings of gratitude really affect you, really feel what it means to have healthy children, really feel what it means to have a home, really feel what it means to have access to the internet to watch this video right now. There's so many things that you have. And if we can see those things, then our eyes are not on the things that we feel like we're lacking. Even if those other emotions feel like they're sitting on you, just stay in your lane, just walk lightly. Even if you feel like you're not soaring or, living your best life and in this place that you want to be, just stay in that place of gratitude and keep going forward, protecting your thoughts and filling your mind with truth. Also, when you're struggling, part of staying in the game is it's not thinking too far ahead. It's the whole thing of avoiding overthinking, like I said, and that includes making generalizations about the future, and especially a future without hope, a future that still involves the struggle you're going through. For instance, I never, even though my health has still been really affecting my everyday life, I don't envision a future at all with this health struggle. And that, I think part of that just hope is God's grace in my heart, because I can get into thoughts. I mean, trust me, like it weighs on me and it's something that is heavy on me and I constantly have to turn over to God. But one thing I do not do is I do not let my mind go down imagining a future with this health struggle. I just know in my heart it's not going to be here forever. And I think part of getting through these scenarios is actually being able to visualize a future that is much more brighter and satisfying and the life that you want to live. I know there's studies about visualization. I don't take it like a serious practice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that can be extremely helpful as long as you don't kind of like idolize this all above God and think you're your own God creating your own life and whatnot. But I think just thinking His thoughts, which are thoughts of hope, which are thoughts of a brighter future, that is extremely helpful. I also just focus on the little things that help. There are little things throughout my day that help, and I just have to work with myself and have grace for myself. And I mean, a big part of that is not comparing yourself to other people out there. Our kitchen is pretty much a disaster all the time. Like, I feel like our counters never get wiped down anymore, and I know that's gross to say, but just things aren't ideal, and just accepting that as it is and knowing that those things don't matter. It's like letting those things go, because it's so easy to let things that you perceive as your shortcomings hang over your head and to just, just that weight of them. Every time you see that counter thinking, oh gosh, like, why don't I have the energy? Because for me, things like that have to slide because I feel like I'm giving out of like a 10% filled cup every day. Okay, maybe more than that these days. Maybe like 45% filled cup. I don't know, but then it goes down and I feel so strained so much of the time physically that I can't give all my energy to having a spotless kitchen or a spotless house in any sense of the word. It's more being with my family, and I mean, even if you're really healthy, I feel like those things are hard. But my point is, give yourself grace in those times. Don't compare yourself to like, just don't even go there thinking about people's houses who are clean, all these cleaning videos or whatever you're struggling with. Like, just give yourself grace. And then if you have the energy to clean, to wipe the counters, great, but don't let those things weigh on you. And that's something that I really try and do, is to not internalize those things, though it can be hard sometimes. the other little things that help is just considering my needs throughout the day and finding a compromise with the needs of my children and my family, and how we can best spend our time together that will make the most of everything. So while exercising used to be something that I would always do, like I would love to walk a mile to the park with my kids and walk a mile back or jog. My health, like I have a lot of fatigue right now based on these medications and other things going on in my body. And if I do that, I literally feel like I can't peel myself up off the couch after. So I will go on shorter walks, and it just like, it's like finding that balance of taking care of yourself, meeting the needs of your family or other people, and just having grace for yourself in the meantime. Right now I'm filming on my phone because it's actually better quality than the kind of cheap camera that I have and used to use, but I want to save up for a vlog camera. Would you be interested in seeing vlogs from me? I don't know, it's so easy to feel like I do not know who would want to watch vlogs from me, but if you would be interested in that, what would you like to see from me in particular? I'd love to know. I was just thinking it'd be fun to really put a lot of heart and insight into them, and kind of not just like the typical vlog walking you through my day, but you know, where I kind of like the heart-to-heart sense that you get from these videos. I really would like to incorporate that into the daily vlog, and lots of my insights throughout the day and things that help me get through these days that have been hard for me lately. So let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in watching. I literally know nothing about vlogging, like in the typical sense of the way. I wouldn't even know like how to vlog, like I just don't even know. Barely know how to sit down and talk to the camera right here. So let me know if that's something that you think I should do. Please give me all your thoughts on that, all your tips, advice. I'd love to know what kind of vlogs that you'd like to watch, just how I could do a good job with that, if that's something I do go forward with and do. One other tip, along with just kind of like going with what feels right, is like some days I just want to wear more comfy clothes, and other days it feels better if I put makeup on. Some days I feel better to have like a totally bare face, and it sounds so simple, but just kind of going with what feels right in that sense, it really does help. Because when you feel like you're trying to like force things and like take on something that's not you in whatever way that looks, it doesn't aid us when we're already struggling, you know what I mean? I feel like you really have to be sensitive to your intuition and your desires and just take care of yourself. I know that sounds so subtle, but that really helps me. And also, one of the main things is just not being self-centered. It's just thinking about loving my kids, loving my husband, and that can sound so simple, but when you're really struggling, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to take your eyes off yourself, but once you do, it's what we're made to do, you know, as believers, is to love and to give. When you start to love, you encounter God, you know what I mean? God is love, and it's like you open yourself up as a vessel, and if you are willingly saying, God, use me to love them, it's like he comes through you. This isn't like some theological idea, but that's how I feel personally when I have that intention in my heart. And it's like when you pray for someone, lots of times you're more blessed, at least for me, than even the person I pray for, because you get to encounter God in that. So not focusing on ourselves, oh my gosh, it's so powerful, and something I constantly have to remind myself. Just take my thoughts off myself. Think about how I can make my kids smile today. What's something silly I can do to make them laugh? Or what's something I can do that would make my husband know that I thought of him today, or be a little extra special for him. I'm not a perfect mom, perfect wife, but it's just, these things are worth our attention, they're worth our thoughts, and that's why I'm sharing them with you. So if you are having a hard time, just be okay with staying in the game. Don't focus on judging yourself where you're at. This is gonna pass. This is just a season. I promise you this, what you're going through and the feelings that you're feeling right now are not going to last forever. And I feel like one of the biggest things we can do is realize that, because once we realize that and can see, even if we don't feel like we're living in the light on the other side of the tunnel, at least we know it's there, and that gives us the confidence to move forward. It gives us more joy and hope in our spirits, which affects us today. So just know that it's going to be over. One thing that I do too is think, okay, if this were all literally completely over tomorrow, if my body was completely restored when I woke up, which I love to dream about, how would I want to act today? Would I want to be negative? Would I want to be ungrateful? Would I want to just be complaining or being lacking hope. No. I wouldn't want to look back and see how I acted in this season as being so low and just like not a reflection of what God has called me to walk in. I would want to see someone who had hope, who moved forward, you know, all those positive things. So just kind of having that perspective, knowing that one day I will be looking back on this and what do I want to see in myself in that time, and kind of going forward with that, that is something that does encourage me too. So I hope this encourages you. I hope this gives you helpful tips about how to go through a hard time. Just hang in there today. Just find the little things that keep you going. You know, maybe it's your favorite cup of tea. Make loving choices for yourself. Don't just like sabotage yourself by thinking things are so bad and like start making really bad food choices, and you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like food is such a common thing people turn to. But just try and take care of yourself with love today and focus on other people and just receive His grace. And know that you're going to get through this. I so badly wish I could give you a hug. I wish we could talk and hang out and I could be there for you like you're there for me, to really listen to you and for you to know how loved you really are. Because I know I'm someone just on the other side of the screen, and 99% of you haven't met me in person, but I really care about you and you really matter to God, and all that you're going through, I just know your situations, your life is as real as mine. I hope you can feel my heart for you through this video, and I truly wish that there were more that I could do for you as someone on the other side of the screen. And that's why I just pray that these videos just can do anything for you, and that God could use me in any way to help you through what you're going through, because life is hard, but there is hope in Him, and His truth, which is what I aspire to share in these videos, can really help get us through those times. So I love you so much, and He loves you, and we're going to get through this together. Don't forget to answer my questions about vlogging, and yeah, just share your heart with me down below if you feel inclined to, if there's anything you want to share about what you're going through and your tips about how to get through those times. I would love to know, and I'm sure others would love to read them down in the comments below as well. I love you so much. I hope that you can find the beauty in your day today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.